Okay, so starting out, I'm a witch, I am a psychic medium, and I have always been sensitive to the paranormal. So we're gonna start out reading some Reddit paranormal encounters. I'm gonna read the story and give you my opinion. So, getting started, we're looking at Zealous Ideal I-836. They say I'll give you two for one. I moved around a lot as a kid. We were the kind of family that would have boxes that would always go unopened and undisturbed between moves. That's a lot of moving. I thought I moved a lot, but that's a lot. My dad was a good guy, but had an issue with authority. So he usually had issues keeping a stable job for more than a year or so. When the lease was up, we'd move closer to get his new job. Move closer to his new job. Anyways, during one of these moves, my dad found a steal next to his job. It was an old 2-bed, 1-bath house with a detached garage. I want to say it was around $300 a month for rent in 2003. Apparently, it was a rough part of town. The landlord told us I won't go into specifics, but I am required to tell you that someone has passed away in the house within the last 5 years. My dad saw a great deal and shrugged it off. First mistake. There's your first mistake. Okay? They're required to tell you that somebody died, but not how. And that would be my first question. Who? Why? How? What? Where? Why? Okay? Just saying. We moved in soon after, and things started very quickly. There were noises in the house all the time. It was like we had other people living there. Oof. It would generally be noises that you'd expect when other people were around. Things like drawers opening and closing, doors swinging around on their own, water turning on in the bathroom, and then back off. Nothing malicious was happening, so we just lived with it. Ugh. Another weird quirk about the house was that the front door had a keyhole on both sides, so you could not leave the locked house unless you had the keys. I hate doors like that. You can probably guess where this is going, but not a week or so after we moved in, we lost the keys. Boxes still littered the house, and we were still in unpacking hell. So my dad, obviously stressed from the whole situation, started getting loud about the keys. He accused me of stealing them, he was cursing, and being a general pain. Then out of nowhere, we hear the keys hit the floor in the living room, right in front of the couch, right onto the floor. Ooh. And he said, "Here's your keys! Now shut up!" Okay, so he picks them up, tries to rationalize what just happened, says F it, and leaves the house for work. Over the next few months, the stupid keys are the center of the activity. My dad would put them in a glass bowl on top of our tube TV every day after work, and somehow they would be moved by the morning. My favorite spot by far was when we found them in a sealed box of pots and pans that we needed to unpack. It had those little handle holes in the side of the box, and it's like someone shoved them into the hole out of spite. We all got a good laugh out of this one. I wonder if it's like a little kid. Maybe it's a little... Oh, 333. Maybe it's a little kid just playing tricks on you. Let's see. Right now, you're probably like, okay, what's spine-chilling about some noises and some keys moving around? Well, here you go. I mean, yeah, it's a little annoying. I would probably assume it's like the Fae. The Fae coming to play a trick or something. I'd be like, okay, Loki, give me my keys back, please. Thank you. Okay, so the worst thing that happened fairly frequently was the stomping. Most nights around 2 to 3 a.m., there would be heavy footsteps pacing the hallway outside of our bedrooms. I confirmed with my dad when I was older that yes, it kind of freaked him out too. We had been living in this place for about 8 months at this point, and I was probably about 8 years old. I heard the stomping one night, and I just couldn't take it. I screamed out into the hallway, "Stop stomping around! I need to go to sleep!" 15 seconds of silence was abruptly interrupted by what sounded like a bull running full speed into my room. Then my door had 3 very aggressive slamming knocks, one after another. I hope you didn't open that door! It was so loud that my dad woke up and came to check on me. My stomach started to turn, and I suddenly felt that I had to use the toilet. I was frozen in bed when I heard my dad call out to me, "You okay, buddy?" from his bedroom. I mustered up all the courage I had to head out into the hallway. As I got up, I could tell something wasn't right. I was shaking like a leaf, and my bowels were trying to evacuate while I was walking. I ran as fast as I could to the toilet, but it did not help. There was a trail from about halfway between my bedroom into the toilet, and my poor dad, worried about my safety, followed me into the bathroom to figure out what the hell just happened. I explained everything, crying on the toilet, making a mess of myself in the house. I was embarrassed and terrified. I probably would be too. After this, my dad told me, "If you ever feel uncomfortable, you can come sleep in my room. Nothing can bug you when I'm around." That's because it's attached to the dad, probably. So, the final straw came about a week later. My dad had been dating a girl for over a year, and she had been staying with us more and more. One of the nights she had stayed over, they had a really minor fight before bed. I think it was about cleaning or doing the chores. Anyways, they both went to bed grumpy about it. Right around that magic 2 to 3 a.m. mark, that's the witching hour, his girlfriend got yanked out of bed by one of her ankles and got dragged out of the bedroom and down the hallway. Oh my gosh. By her account, she woke up after she was on the floor and felt someone pulling on her leg. It took her a while to realize exactly what was happening. She shrieked, and whatever it was, let go. She ran back into the bedroom and turned the lights on, and then explained the whole thing to my dad. He sent me off to an aunt's house and stayed in the house alone for a few months while looking for another place to go. Figured it would be safer without me there. During the packing and moving out of the house, my dad and some friends swung by to keep him company while he packed. Oh, he's getting out of there? Probably a good idea. Almost everyone who came by to help mentioned that they saw a small white dog walking around when they entered the house. A small white dog. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that place was haunted as F. I still think about it from time to time. Wonder if it's the people who live there now. I wonder if the people who live there now deal with the same stuff or if it's calmed down. Okay. Bonus extra DLC story. My dad's girlfriend brought a yoga ball to the house as a rambunctious 8-year-old, I wanted to play with it all the time, of course. She tells me I can play with it, but I have to be careful. So we lightly toss it back and forth down the hallway. After about a minute or two, I toss the ball and it freezes mid-air before it makes it to her and comes back to me. Oh my gosh. She was mortified. I was too young to realize what happened, and she didn't want to freak out her boyfriend's son, so she quickly just said she didn't want to play with it anymore and went and did something else. I probably wouldn't want to play with that either. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Dog maybe could have been like some sort of spiritual protector. I feel whatever in that house clearly did not want them there, and they were making their presence known. And while they weren't particularly dangerous or malicious, they still were causing a little bit of havoc. But I definitely, like I said, I think that small white dog definitely could have been like a guide or a familiar or some sort of protector. Because the things definitely could have gotten a lot worse. But for the most part, I think that the ghost just didn't want you there. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, I would definitely say it's time to move. You guys definitely should have cleansed the house before you moved in there. Time to move, time to cleanse, and I would say Dad could probably use an exorcism, at the very least, a cleansing, because he definitely seems like he has some dark energy attachments on him. But let me know, what did you guys think of this story? Did you like it? What do you guys think happened here? How about that small white dog? I wonder what that is. What do you guys think?